Oh, wait.
Okay. All right. So
Well, I'm just looking at Carrie.
No, I'm good.
away.
I'm good. All right.
Oh, I see.
I think I'm gonna-
Oh, all right.
Dirt farm.
All
You
right.
always get your Justy Dirts.
Just D-dirts.
Just try it. Let's
We'll see what happens.
All right,
Okay.
yeah.
You good? You're good, Gord? You okay? We ready?
Yeah, we're good.
Marcel
Yeah.
looks in.
I'm
Oh,
good.
oh, there's the music and everything.
Oh my God.
If that doesn't get your blood pumping, I don't know. Am I supposed to wait till the end of the music? I'm not.
You're
Please
already
don't.
talking.
I know. The question was moot. Welcome to the Stupid Good Comedy podcast with the Coincidence Men, where we
Hi.
talk all things stupid. Say hi, fellows.
Hi, fellows.
I knew that was going to happen. You've got the Coincidence Men here. I'm Carrie. We got Marcel.
That's me.
And Ralph.
Hi.
And Gord.
Yeah.
Everybody's here, including the goat. So
The greatest of all time?
the goat. Sure.
Which one? The greatest of all time at what?
At eating grass.
Oh,
And
it's a goat
pooping
goat.
in a pile.
Do you ever
It's a-
think there's somewhere in the world there's the goat goat?
Oh, absolutely.
The greatest of all time goats.
The greatest of all time goat.
Goatka.
I don't think about it that much.
Just
Well,
think,
you should.
I know.
I will now.
think if I push one button, I can mute all of you.
Right. I guess we have to introduce Brent, our producer, who has
Brent.
buttons that do things.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we
Brent.
are going to get to our hotbed of comedy discussions. But of course, every good podcast has a sponsor. And I said every good podcast has one. We've
do
got
we
one
have?
too.
When did that happen?
Our sponsor this week is Glen's Dirt Farm.
Oh, wow.
Open now for all your dirt needs. If you didn't think you needed dirt, well, you just visit Glen's Dirt Farm and you'll find out exactly what you need. Let's hear from a couple of satisfied Glen's Dirt Farm customers.
Well, me and my husband were shopping for dirt.
That's right, Emma.
And, well, we tried everywhere. We even tried our own backyard. But we just couldn't find the dirt that was right for us.
No, it all sucked. It wasn't working for us at all.
And then, well, my neighbor, Alan, let's call him Alan, he suggested we come to Gary's Dirt Farm.
He did. Alan said, why don't you go to Gary's Dirt Farm?
Oh, there you go. Hi, Alan. Yes, I'll be right over.
Okay, Alan. Yeah, we went to Gary's Dirt Farm. Alan kind of tagged along in the back. And holy schmidt, I tell you, there's so much dirt. Oh, my God.
Holy Schmidt, indeed. Now, those were customers from Gary's Dirt Farm, but our sponsor is, of course, Glen's Dirt Farm, right beside Gary's Dirt Farm.
Oh,
so
man,
if
oops.
you're driving down
That's a bad
Highway
one.
47A and you
really
see...
like you applying to, advertising for the competition.
Yeah, I got the wrong
'Cause I'm
customers.
Gary. Yeah, this is Gary's Dirt Farm. What kind of a commercial is this?
Well, it was a commercial for Glen's Dirt Farm.
Oh. Well, come on down to Gary's Dirt Farm and you'll get all kinds of dirt naps, dirt salads, dirt bags, dirty birdies, and just dirts.
That's right. So head down to Gary's Dirt Farm, and when you're done there, just down the road is Glen's Dirt Farm,
Yeah, well,
our
I wouldn't go there
sponsor.
if I were you.
Oh, our sponsor's not going to be happy. Okay, so that's probably why we don't have a real sponsor, because
Hard to remember their names.
and we often do accidental commercials for the wrong sponsor.
Well,
Glengarry Dirt Farm.
Gary Dirt Farm. First prize is a dirt bag. Second prize is you're buried.
Always be cleaning up dirt.
Yeah.
A, B, C, D.
A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
I like it.
Just the way I drew it up.
Wow.
If anybody out there wants to be a real sponsor for the Stupid Good Comedy podcast, first call your psychiatrist and get help.
Yeah, not advisable.
No.
All right.
We come apart at high speeds.
It's time to get serious.
Oh,
Oh, are we getting the radio thing?
the thing.
Yes, that's right.
Thing.
With
The streaming
satellite
radio service?
Yeah, we're just gonna.
That's our sponsor.
No. Because if we did a commercial for them, it would come out as for Chorus Entertainment or something.
I'd be all about that.
Okay.
So I thought for our topic today, we'd talk about our favorite comedy television shows or movies. So comedy, TV and movies that inspired us perhaps when we were young, or that we loved, or that we still go back to and think, God dang it, that was hilarious.
Okay.
Anybody want to throw one out there to start? Oh, that was a big sigh from
Well,
Gordon.
this doesn't quite qualify.
Oh, interesting.
From what you had just set up.
If you say Game of Thrones, I'm shutting this down.
Listen, there's a lot of great humor.
That
in
was
Game
going to
of
be
Thrones.
mine.
Well, this one wasn't so much an inspiration from when I was really
fair
young.
enough. Just your
This is
favorite.
like, but I got to say, Arrested Development.
Oh, yeah. That's a great one.
Which just is astonishing. And every now and then I do go back and revisit those episodes because it is quite what a feat of comedic engineering that show is, in terms of so many callbacks, so many layers of jokes, so many visual jokes, physical jokes. I've seen it now, like certainly seasons 1, 2, and 3, so many times I've revisited it, and usually there's at least now 1 or 2 new things that I never noticed before.
Can I ask you, have you gone on and watched the reboot or the whatever
Well,
they
I
call
did.
that?
Yeah, the season 4. I saw
Yes.
the 2 versions of it because they did one where
What?
they just So they did because they couldn't get the whole cast together, so they
Right.
kind of filmed it piecemeal for season 4, which was done like 8 years or whatever later after the first 3.
Yeah.
And so they did what they could with the availability of the cast, who had, most of whom had gone on to do much bigger things and so on. So it's hard to corral everybody back at the same time. So when they first released season 4, it was done in this. It felt a little more piecemeal, but then I think the reaction to that was bad. So then Mitch Hurwitz went back and his editing team, they revamped it. So they basically had the same content, but they were able to find ways to make it appear like more of an ensemble piece. Than
And is
what
it
they
any
first
good?
released. It's okay.
Okay.
Not as good as the-
Yeah, but the first 3 seasons for sure are just like
Absolutely.
almost untouchable in terms of how
Yep.
good they were.
Oh yeah, I
argue,
still remember the
can't
first
argue.
time.
Loved-
Remember the first time seeing it and just being like, "Oh,
Yeah.
it's back! Comedy is back!"
Yeah.
I actually didn't even. I joined late. I joined in maybe season 3 or
Yeah,
4
me-
actually, after
same here.
nobody stopped talking about
Yeah.
it. And then I was like, where have this been all my life? Like, it was
Yeah.
just out there and crazy, and the Ron Howard voiceover, and,
Yeah.
and Tobias just saying really awkward things, the anal rapist,
Or
Yeah,
an
yeah.
rapist.
anal rapist rather. And just crazy. So these Blue Man Group auditions.
Yeah.
The pent up,
I blew myself. Was that it?
Yeah.
I
oh
blew
yeah.
myself,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like just the use of puns and wordplay and stuff is just astonishing.
Did somebody say puns?
Yeah.
Ralph woke up.
Well, then, I mean, that'll say we had a mind, which,
Yep.
again, trying to pick my favorite comedy movie or TV show is like trying to pick your favorite, movie of all time or child or whatever.
Yeah.
It's an impossible task, but the first one that popped into my head, and that's the one I'll go with, is Airplane.
Oh, yeah.
And
that was on my list
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it just, the inventiveness, the wordplay, the joy.
Yeah.
And also those guys, when they went on to do the forerunner of the Naked Gun series was a show that had a short run called
Yep.
Police Squad.
Yes.
I loved that
Police
show.
Squad, and I do see that again and love it. And for me, the big takeaway from that was I remember watching this with some family members, and there's a scene where the bad guys are going to assassinate somebody who's in the jail, and he's on the witness stand, and the guy who's going to assassinate him walks in, and he's got bandoliers on, and he's heavily armed, he's got grenades, and he just walks in, and there's no laugh track. And so my family, they're looking, and they're like, don't they see him? Don't they understand? And I got at that point, like, oh, the level of comedy.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, there's a different kind of comedy. I was young enough to, now I see they don't get this, whereas I could understand exactly what was going on, like the satire of it, the parody of it, and they couldn't see it.
Airplane was so great at, like, the jokes per minute in that movie is probably one of the highest. It's just like nonstop. And I actually just a few weeks ago watched the movie that it was based on, inspired by, the disaster.
Airport.
Was it called? No, it was Failsafe or something.
Something
No,
like that.
It's an airplane
Not
disaster
Failsafe,
movie.
but
No, it's not Failsafe.
No, that's another one. That's a Henry Fonda one. But it is, yeah. It's
Oh, yeah, sorry, not
It's
Failsafe.
a disaster movie.
It's an airplane disaster movie. It follows the exact plot of Airplane. Like, there's literally scenes that are taken almost word for word with just a few extra jokes put in the airplane version.
Wow.
And it's amazing how they took this dramatic. It's not a bad movie in and of itself, as a sort of 1950s airplane
But
disaster
is it one
movie.
of those movies that you get the sense, oh, this was just financed by like some rich kid?
No,
somewhere
not
who
at
has money?
all.
It's an
Not at
actual
all. It's
studio
it's an
level
actual
movie?
studio level. I mean, it's
Okay.
1950s, so it's kind of maybe a B movie quality,
Yeah.
a bit, but not a super low cheap, not like Ed Wood
Yeah,
or anything.
exactly. It's no Plan 9 from outer space.
No, it's actually reasonably well done. But it's amazing how much they just took. Yeah, verbatim for Airplane, because I heard they actually bought the script and bought the rights to that movie so that they could depth with it.
But what we're talking about, just one thing I want to mention about parody in general, and how there's really good parodies, but most of it is garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that separate the really good parodies are the people like those guys, the Abrams and Zucker. They love the stuff they're making fun of. They don't.
yes,
they're not.
yes.
They're not derisive like SCTV. They love the stuff they're parodying. Those guys do. Cabin in the Woods. They love the source material that they're making
Well,
fun
and a
of.
lot of it was just heightening what was already happening in the real thing. Like I remember a scene where the former fighter pilot, who's played by Robert Hayes in Airplane, is that his name? Robert
Yes.
Hayes. Is the same thing. Former fighter pilot who had something horrible go wrong in the war, could never fly again, but then has to land this passenger jet. And he's at the controls being talked down by the Robert Stack character or whatever his name is. And he's got sweat coming down his brow. And then in the Airplane version, it's just like buckets of water pouring off his face. But in the original, it was like, oh man, he's sweating a lot.
They yes-anded it.
Exactly.
And another thing about that is just like the fine line between tragedy and comedy.
Yes.
Someone made this comment about Shakespeare's plays that if it ends with a wedding, it's a comedy. If it ends with a tragedy, or the funeral, it's a tragedy.
Yeah.
And there's the fine line between comedy and tragedy and point of view and how you can manipulate that. It's fascinating.
I'll throw in my offering.
Just before you get there, it's based on 0 Hour.
Thank you. Zero hour. Zero
Thank you.
hour.
Thank
We
you.
got a fact checker.
Wow, that's
Oh
great.
my God.
Brett, we got to add another
Pay him
thing
double.
to his.
Yeah, I
Pay him
don't.
double.
I don't just like twiddle knobs. I can.
0 hour.
You know.
Hey, buy me dinner first, man. Buy me dinner first. Anyway, you're.
My contribution is a classic and one of my favorite sitcoms of all time, WKRP. Cincinnati. It just has classic bits that I think hold up. I mean, it is a 70s sitcom, which is a sort of slightly different style than modern sitcoms, perhaps, and it's got the laugh track and all that. But, you know, the whole turkeys could fly thing and the Thanksgiving episode, the whole there's a giant pig painting the lobby and the drunk episode. There's so many classic bits, even like Jennifer Marlowe's doorbell.
Oh my God, I forgot that.
And things.
Les Nessman's walls.
Les Nessman Walls, yes.
Yeah.
And Les Nessman also having a bandage on himself randomly.
Was
at
it in
every...
different locations?
Different
Yes,
locations.
and I read that it started because he happened to hurt himself, but I can't remember how.
Dress rehearsal.
Yeah, or something. And so he had a bandage visible, I can't remember, on his face or forehead, and they just started putting a bandage on him every single episode in different
beautiful.
places
Amazing.
and never mentioning it or discussing it.
Yeah.
Back when creative people ran TV.
Yeah.
Who produced
yeah.
TV, not marketing people and lawyers, but actual people who came out of.
Yeah.
I think that the creative people, they wouldn't have to show their stuff on an daily, ongoing basis. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they could finish an episode and go,
And
now
such-
we'll show it to you.
Such
for-
clear characters, such clear motivation, and
Beautiful.
and yeah,
And
wonderful setups and
yes,
slightly absurd,
There's
but
so many
delightful.
quotable quotables
Yeah,
from that.
yeah.
Like Quiet Storm is a quotable. Booger. Is another
Booger.
one.
Phone cops.
Phone calls.
There, the theme
hey,
song.
hey,
the theme song
hey,
in and of
theme
itself.
song.
Hey, we're
Brent's
gonna get
twiddling
taken
some
down.
knobs.
We're gonna get taken
Yeah.
down. We're gonna get taken down, man.
Oh, aren't they?
I know.
Are we sampling?
Well, no, because we can't afford it. I guess we can do. Can't you do like less than 15 seconds or something
If
without
it's,
paying for it?
if it's what is it for news
Oh,
sources
yeah.
or
Sure,
yeah.
we're the news.
Actually, I think you can for commentary, and we're
Commentary,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're commenting on it.
yeah.
Right.
That's what
Well,
I'm
let's wait
sticking
and see.
to.
Well, what's yours, Mars?
For me, and this may be controversial, and it is not one that I can go back and watch.
I'm gonna punch you in the
controversial
face.
already.
You will punch me in the face. It's Saturday Night Live.
Oh no, that's fine.
Oh no, that's fine.
Oh, okay. Geez, I was looking forward to being punched in the face here,
No,
just so I could feel something.
Well, keep talking.
But no, Saturday Night Live, I started watching like in high school and through all the seasons, the terrible seasons, the good seasons. Like my cast is obviously the cast with, Dana Carvey and Phil Hartman, Jan Hooks, Dennis Miller. But, I've fallen off I fell off like when I moved to Toronto for a few years, and I got back when Jimmy Fallon was hosting the Weekend Update, and I just love continuing to watch the show, even when it's bad.
Well,
and
and-
some weeks the host is awful, the sketches don't work, but even that, there's always something.
But that's it
I love
with
about
that
it.
show is they're walking that tightrope, right? Like it's a new live show written in a week, and it's so of course there's going to be hits and misses. Like that's part of what you kind of watch it for is that excitement of you never know what's going to happen, and some of it's going to be great, some of it's going to suck.
Absolutely. And it's just, to me, phenomenal that Lorne Michaels could have been at the helm of it for the majority of the almost 50 years that it's been on. Like, not only that show, but now he's the king. He's the GOAT producer of
The GOAT. Well, that brings us full circle, which means it's time to wrap up. We've talked about some of our
Horn
comedy
Michaels.
goats.
Horn Michaels.
Horn Michaels.
the goat.
Saturday night. No, I was trying to do a goat pun in there, but nothing came out.
Keep trying.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. That wraps up our stupid good comedy podcast for this episode. Remember, drive right past Gary's Dirt Farm and stop at Glen's Dirt Farm and for all your dirt needs, and shop now and get a free dirt bag. And the next stupid good comedy show is happening live on Friday, June 24th, 8 p.m. at the Social Capital Comedy Theater.
This will come out long after that's been happened. So
If you have a time machine, get your tickets for June 24th. But the fourth Friday of every month, at any rate, whatever month you're listening to this. Goodbye.
goodbye.
Quelm.